Hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, imbecile.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, guys. Oi.
All rise and like, subscribe, and bang the gavel, baby.
All rise. Order in the court. It's time. We got a case. Must be 1 o'clock. Yes.
It is a little after 1 o'clock. You know
All
what?
right.
StreamYard has messed with a bunch of stuff over here and changed everything.
I noticed it took a while for it to crank up.
It's
a little
spun.
bit slow. Billy, wrong show. We'll see you at 4:05 though.
Billy, you're welcome to stay, but
Yes, wrong one, though.
You may be disappointed.
If you're new here, we jump around to a lot of different live Zoom courts that are happening. Lisa, I don't know why that's such a huge issue. You pull up next to a vehicle, you line up them mirrors, and you start cranking. Come on. Although I do avoid them. Mike, have you ever parallel parked?
During my driving exam, yes.
And not since then, never.
I live in the South. We do a lot of straight in pulling.
Oh, yeah. Listen, in the South, there ain't no lines for parking. You just kind of pull in at any angle you want. It's perfectly fine.
We do what we got to do around here.
See, I think it's easy too. But anyways, not to get sidetracked, Flusha, great to see you. Over 52 of you just the second we go live. I love it. Hopefully we get some good stuff for you. Listen, we never know. It's live court. So, I mean, yesterday was great. Like
Yesterday was great.
Banger, but you never know what's going to happen.
Well, we'll see what Judge Stephanie has today. Miss Boyd, if you will.
Do it. We'll jump into it. Remember, we're no lawyers. We don't know a whole lot about it. We're going to try to keep quiet.
Until
Try.
until that type of evaluation is complete.
Judge Boyd, ladies and
All
gentlemen.
right, Mr. Gutierrez, do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What are their ages?
She's 16 and her birthday's coming up next month.
Happy birthday.
That's the only daughter I have.
Where do you work?
Right now, I'm working through a temporary service called Labor on Demand. I was in the process of getting hired on full-time at BFC Bakeries.
Oh, I thought paper mill.
Labor on demand.
How often do you drink?
I used to drink just about every weekend, ma'am.
Waiting for him to come back. We'll jump over.
But ever since Thanksgiving Day, I literally stopped. I cut back. Like I know I was in the wrong, and I'm almost to the. Well, I got to the point where I was.
Thanksgiving Day has been in that long.
Like,
Real quick, you guys didn't realize it, but Terminator's new name is Amanda, and has an iPhone. Just want to show you.
Say the court is finding you guilty, sentence you to a $1,500 fine. That'll be probated, 6 years in prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. Taking consideration county court cause number 680464, JN number 2048617.
Bob, no need to yell in court.
JN 2048617 to Angelita, ANGELITA, Montalvo,
Don't be yelling, Bob.
and Mark
I think we'll have to
Cumber.
the hammer
There's
down for the
affirmative
contempt of
finding
court.
of family violence. Proof of employment within 15 days of release. There should be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. The BIPP course. 150 hours of community service restitution. The court will waive 40 of those hours if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring you to get COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. Parenting classes.
Did she just say if he gets vaccinated to wait 40 hours?
Oh, did she? I don't know. She's
very low. I'm trying to bring her up some.
I got a nice bit of Doge right now. I didn't even see it.
Have to be in person.
Yes, ma'am.
Regular UA.
Yeah.
Field visits.
17 cents, baby.
1 time per month.
Hey now.
Random.
Okay. Hallelujah to that.
Rebecca, is there anything else you need?
No, ma'am. What was that last class that you ordered?
The sober classes.
Okay.
15.89%
All
today.
right, Mr. Gutierrez, is there anything else you need
Mistake.
in order to be successful?
No, ma'am. I
All right,
believe
I'm gonna
that,
show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Abuse.
And also because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
That's the only
Yes.
weapon he
Not a good
needs.
All right, good. With
Not a
that,
good
we'll,
answer, that.
close to,
Judge, just one last thing. I wanted to
Big D?
confirm
The
that
biggest.
you did
Is it
contact
swinging?
with the victims, and including their home addresses, right?
All right, I'm sorry. Let me check.
It's like a pretty good plea deal he got. Could have been
Yes,
6 years in
There's
jail.
also a no contact order, so that means that you cannot contact them from third persons or anyone else. So there's a no contact order with Angelita
It happens.
Montalvo and Mark McCumber. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
Oh, Shirley.
That means you're not allowed to
Shirley,
contact them
must
by
be kidding.
phone,
There you
Facebook,
go.
any type of social media, write them letters, even if it's a letter to apologize.
No flowers.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Favorite.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Gutierrez, I'm gonna send you to a breakout room. Probation, if you could go to the breakout room with Mr. Gutierrez and go over his paperwork.
Mr. Gutierrez
Yes,
is
ma'am.
getting out,
And
baby.
Miss McDonald, you can go to the breakout room, or either you can.
No drinking.
Mr. Gutierrez.
Just briefly, Judge, if I can go to the breakout room. Thank you.
I'm
What,
gonna
on the
send you number
Facebook?
4, Mr. Gutierrez.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll look today.
Peace and love. Peace and love. I will
All
not
right,
be
and
taking
we
any
are
more
back on the record
Facebook
in
friend requests
2022 CR0280.
as of today.
March 7th, 2022. We've got the Honorable J. Cedric Simpson ready to go with iPhone 1 name, but he ain't around.
Is he looking at? Was that guy looking at stamps with a magnifying glass?
He's looking at something with his magnifying glass. Might be a penis.
yes.
Who knows? It's Zoom Court.
This is a beautiful stamp. Hello, Mercedes.
All right, defense, you had called Miss Mercedes Medina as a witness, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me,
That's
please?
a hallelujah.
Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but
Pamela,
the
we're
truth?
swearing in.
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand if you can state your name for the record.
She got
please.
half a thumb.
My name is Mercedes Medina.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Mercedes. I
Well,
don't know if
living.
you recall visiting with me about a month ago.
Good
when
to see you, bud.
contacted our office regarding Mark Crane's case. Does that sound about right?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that? I have a little
That's what
bit of
you wanna-
difficulty hearing.
Timestamp
Sure.
that
Do you
stuff and
remember
let us
calling
know.
our
We can always
office about
back
a
up
month ago to talk about Mark's case with us?
and watch.
Yes,
Okay. And that's probably the last time we did talk about his case, is that right?
yes,
However, when we did speak, you had mentioned that you were interested in testifying as a character witness at his sentencing, is that correct?
that is correct.
Can you please tell this court how you know Mark Cram?
That guy turned around.
Well, I know Mark Cram because he's the father of one of my children,
Good
as
for
well
you,
as we've
Mark.
been in an intimate relationship. I had met him previously in high school, just in passing. So we have quite a bit of history together.
Nice.
And is it your son who is the listed victim in this particular criminal case?
Yes, Logan Favea is my son.
And when this happened,
Wait,
were you
got
living with
more.
Mark Cram?
We were.
And
Did
when
it
this
again.
event occurred, did you immediately leave with the kids to another location?
I'm so sorry. Can you please repeat?
That's
Shut
okay.
up!
Did you leave Mark
Yeah,
when
it's
this
Halloween,
event
too.
occurred?
I did,
Oh,
Disappeared.
Okay.
out of,
I'm getting tired.
just shock, I guess. I was going through a lot.
Sure, and you wanted to protect your children, correct?
Of course, that's what any mother would do. It was just a response, I guess. I don't know.
Absolutely. Now, did you receive any counseling or talk to any sort of victim coordinators about this case?
Yes, I have. I was actually, I was seen by a counselor from the family-based services by their request. And so I did speak to a counselor myself.
Okay, and did they talk to you about victims of domestic violence and stuff like that?
They did, yes.
And with all the counseling you received from them, is it still your intention to come to court and testify as a character witness for Mark's case?
It is.
Now, what is it that you would like to see happen in this case as
I had to
far
get a
as
new
the
one.
sentencing is concerned?
We used it too much.
I've had a lot of time to think
There it
about
is.
that question. And I've had a lot of time to watch my children,
Not good.
how they have experienced
Hey,
this
keep-
situation. And I hope that the court will see everything that he's doing and has done as a show of good faith, that he is capable of getting himself together. I'm hoping that he receives lenience.
Is this the one here that's picking her nose? Is that who you're talking about? Was she being a bad girl?
That's more of a cleaning creed.
Today,
Or
there
scrubbing?
will be room for us as a family to grow when the time comes.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Now,
wants them
you
back.
say that
Yeah, our guy came
when
in
the
hot
time comes,
Saturday.
currently you have not contacted Mark, is that correct?
That is correct. I haven't spoken to him since the day of the incident, and just thinking back to that moment, all the time that I've spent between then and now, the different, I guess, advice that my family has
By the way,
given
that's his
me,
mom
and
right
and
there on
even the
screen as
words of
well.
my
Oh,
son,
when the-
who is, you know, the one involved.
Little
He
blurry,
wants
huh?
to see also, when the time
Filtered.
comes, essentially his father, who he knows him as, return back to his life, and that way his little brother also doesn't miss out on his father.
Okay. Now, if
Warning.
this court were to consider probation as an appropriate sentence, are you here to
Yeah,
tell
any
the
idea?
court that he's immediately
I
gonna move back in
believe
with
it's
you
something
and resume
domestic
a family
violence,
or
maybe
household
towards a child.
situation? Or are you not expecting him to move in and maybe y'all have time to kind of discuss what your future entails?
I have
What?
every intention of doing everything necessary to make sure that he stays on the right track. And so if that means that he has
Top
to
of the
spend
morning.
some more time away from us to make sure he's meeting his probationary needs, is
Angie?
what is I expect of myself and of him as well. If that, you know, requires additional counseling, individual, you know, inter-family, us together as a couple, whatever it's going to take. And that's why I say when the time comes, because I know this is still in the beginning of this process for all of us. We still have a lot of time to go and more work to put in, but I know we're all as a family capable of moving forward this way, the right way.
Melissa was frying chicken earlier and doing a
Oh, that's
YouTube
nice.
video. Excuse her camera lens.
questions?
Got a little hot
All
and
right, defense and
steamy.
other witnesses?
Steamy.
Judge, if I can have a moment, to
The
say
guy
my
with the
client-
magnifying glass, he is quite the collector of some art there,
Oh, you say? Huh?
laying around. See it all just
Oh,
up against the
yeah.
bookcase.
Well, I
Do you
mean,
want,
you don't want it falling off the
to
wall, so he just puts it
explain,
on the floor.
you know, what it is that you're seeking in the form of punishment for this offense? Do you want to testify, or are you satisfied with the character witnesses that have taken the stand on your behalf?
I'm satisfied with the testimony. I just had a few questions because the TAP evaluation stated that I would possibly get no harmful contact with Logan, as well as no harmful contact with Mercedes and Ronan.
Okay, and so
I can't believe this
first,
guy's
what
with that
we'll do
woman.
is we'll close up the argument and then have judge make a decision, and then we can address whatever the TAP eval suggests or recommends at that time.
He's a big boy.
All right. The court will hear argument then. State.
Judge, for the agreement, state is remaining silent.
All right, defense.
Yes, Your Honor, you just heard from two character witnesses on Mr. Cram's behalf. As you know, this is a very serious charge with some very, scary facts and circumstances. There was a young child who did receive some significant discipline in the form of corporal punishment here, which by no means is something that, we're here to propose was justified. However, we do have the two most important women in his life come forward, and one of them has not had any contact with him since this offense occurred and has testified that she acknowledges through time and conversations with her family and counselors that she believes that this was just a one-time incident, and she's interested in furthering her family.
But has she read I know she hasn't read the PSI report, but I've read the PSI report and nobody objected to it. And in the PSI report, the child is saying this is not the first time this has happened.
Oh, Judge, I apologize. You are correct. There was an instance listed in that PSI where the child had mentioned, I think it was boot taken to the rib or something
Yes.
of that nature.
That the defendant kicked him.
Yes.
A boot to the rib.
Did forget that.
Kicking a kid.
This morning.
Not
And
cool.
so after, time and counseling, Miss Medina is willing to work on this family unit. She is obviously a woman who can protect her children and is interested in protecting the safety of her children. She left him when it occurred. She did not know about the boot to the rib until after the fact. I think was my understanding of
A
the
boot.
PSI. And,
But I read in the PSI report that Miss Medina was upset that the police were called.
Okay, my interpretation was she did not realize the police were called. So
Sometimes
she
you don't need to stand by your man.
Who had called knowing that she was not the one that had called.
All right, which.
Well, she's sitting there talking about getting back
She
and
wasn't
everything's
going to
cool,
call the
right?
police.
Yeah. Like,
And I apologize.
do
Judge,
this
I didn't
again.
read the PSI, but I seem to recollect there was a line in there that says she intended to report it, and if we need to call her back.
No,
to
I mean, that's not, if you want to recall her, you can, but what I read in the PSI report was that.
Usually keep my
she was
PSI
upset
around
because somebody else
35.
called the police.
Usually.
Okay, let me pull that PSI up.
And that's on page 7.
Okay, it's good fashion.
Rago monkey.
At the top, it says contact with the victim's mother was made via telephone. Miss Medina was upset and wanted to know who called the police. Miss Medina was asked if she knew where the victim was, and she stated that her cousin Jessica had him. She was then asked if she had a relationship with her mother, and she stated that she had not spoken to her for over 2 years because she used methamphetamine. Miss Medina was asked if she had seen any injuries to her son, and she stated that she saw an injury to his ear. And the court has reviewed the stipulations, and when I
So Miss
reviewed the
Medina's on the meth?
stipulated evidence, there are injuries
Baby.
that
She
the
just went
mother
down a couple notches in my
would
book.
have seen, because if the child was hit with a power strip cord, and there's injuries on his stomach, on his upper arm, on his back. And is Child Protective Services involved in this case?
They were, Your Honor.
I thought they should be.
I think
I would hope so.
Investigation may be closed at this point.
Okay. All right, defense, you may continue.
I'm waiting for one of these other guys to get up and punch him in the back of the head.
Judge Simpson is
And
back,
so
or
whether this
want to
court deems maybe probation
jump
is
this guy's
something
piece of shit?
appropriate
I've
here,
heard enough about
he
this
doesn't
total
necessarily have to
asshole
return to
for
the
one day.
family. He has
That's
a-
what I was thinking. Let's head over to the Honorable J. Cedric Simpson, ladies and gentlemen.
Whew. Boy,
Yes,
oh
Your Honor.
boy.
Because of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent and not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're also giving up your right to appeal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation?
Currently for a felony 3rd DUI.
Ooh.
No
Were
big
you on
deal.
Probation at the time of this.
Are you driving right now?
No, Your Honor.
Were you?
It would appear so.
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead guilty to this charge?
No, Your Honor.
I don't
Anybody
blame her.
threaten you or coerce you in any way?
No, Your Honor.
You're doing this voluntarily of your own free will,
Yes.
and because you believe that you are indeed guilty of this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
January 18, 2022, at the location of Whitaker Road in Augusta Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor.
At the time of operating that motor vehicle, was your driver's license suspended, denied, and or revoked?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you know that it was?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, have I complied with the court rule? Would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. People are satisfied.
Please, somebody ask if he's driving.
Yeah.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to the driving while license suspended contained in 2286. I should say year 2286. And the other matter, 83, will be dismissed. Sir, anything you want to say before I do impose sentence?
No, Honor. I understand I made a mistake, and I'm trying my best to rectify my past and move
third
forward
mistake?
with life.
It's piling them on.
Right, Chen.
To the court, $495 fines and court costs, 93 days in jail suspended. When can you pay that, sir?
Did you have a liquid breakfast
I
by any
would say
chance?
30 to 45 days, Your Honor.
Get it paid by May 31st. I'll give you
Yes.
the time.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Great, sir. Thank you.
I gotta go. I'm at a stoplight.
Demetrius Fletcher.
APA Rachel McDuffie on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. James Gallagher, Assistant Public Defender, on behalf of Demetrius Fletcher. Your Honor, unfortunately, I was not able to make contact with Mr. Fletcher. I tried phone and email, and I'm not sure of his whereabouts for today's purposes.
You didn't slide into his DMs on Insta?
Fletcher?
Should have.
Did not check in.
Mr. Gallagher's quite the
Bench warrant
lover.
issue for defendant's failure to appear.
Yeah. Love the
Bond will
bench
be set
warrants.
in the amount of $7,500. Give a 10% privilege on that. Previous
7,500.
warrant, so this one will issue immediately.
Understood.
Yeah, iPhone, I hope, doesn't have an itch or anything.
Marshall Anton Ford.
We're in the
Holy
strike,
APA Rachel McDuffie.
we're in the strike zone right there.
Assistant Public Defender Brian J. Grigg on behalf of Mr. Anton Ford Marshall. Sir, will you please state your full name for the record, please? Unmute yourself.
It's a great,
Anton Ford Marshall.
Thank
Great
you. Your Honor,
look
today's date and time set for a pretrial in this matter. I had the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Ford Marshall in preparation for today's hearing. At this time, Your Honor, he'd like to tender a plea of guilty to one of the counts of driving while license suspended in exchange for a dismissal of the other. Is that your understanding, Ms. McDuffie, of the resolution we've discussed?
That's correct. If you could just clarify which he's pleading to and which are dismissed for the record.
Joe, I think a hallelujah is in order.
212-0684 in exchange for dismissal on the 212-0444 Is that your understanding, Mr. Ford Marshall, how you wish to proceed based upon our conversation?
Yes.
Thank you.
Before I take his plea, there's no way for him to get his license back. So
I asked him in terms of our preparation conversations, Your Honor, and he indicated that the mountain or the barriers are too large financially for him to meet within a reasonable amount of time. According to my notes, he's on a payment plan with Plymouth Canton that will take him approximately over a year to satisfy just that court at $80 a month. Is that your understanding, Mr. Ford Marshall? The time it would take for you to even resolve that single court?
Yes, Your Honor.
But are they allowing you to pay your clearances?
Clarence.
So they have you on a payment plan and won't let you pay your clearances.
No.
I know in Washington, you're correct, Your Honor. If it was 14B, they would release it after a certain percentage was paid, but it doesn't sound like that's happening for him in certain parts of Wayne County.
It happened last week or the week before.
Oh, Rosetta's falling in the floor.
Oh no, Rosetta had fallen and I can't get up.
Sir, I need you to turn on a camera for me, please.
Yes, thank God that's his thumb and not, else's.
It could be. I mean,
Oh, there you are.
Peace and love, peace
Sorry.
and love.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm
No.
testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
State your name for the record, please.
Anton Ford Marshall.
Sir, it is this court's understanding you are going to
I
be
like
pleading
turtles.
guilty to the charge of driving while license suspended, denied, and or revoked. Now, that is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail, up to a $500 fine plus court costs. Your vehicle is also subject to mobilization. Do you understand that?
well, not mobilizations.
Understanding
Sure,
that
just
you
that.
still wish to plead guilty?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
It's okay. Understanding that you still wish to plead guilty?
Let me step aside. I'm at my
I think the ceiling's falling in.
Where do you work?
I work at AAA.
AAA. Tell those people to be quiet.
I'm sorry about
Just
that.
walk outside.
Tell them
It's
you're
court.
talking to me. They need to be quiet. No, I tell you. All right.
Shut it down.
Did you hear the maximum penalty, sir?
93 days jail, $500 fines and costs.
And your vehicle is subject to mobilization.
Yes.
Is that a
All
move?
right. Still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
In light of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent, not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, Loud, I was thinking he might be in
You
Bama
understand that?
today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Crazy.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily
Yes.
of your own free will
Yes.
and because you believe that you are indeed guilty of this offense?
Guilty.
Okay, you're pleading guilty because you believe that you're guilty of this offense. Is that correct, sir?
Get that laundry done.
Spending them out.
July 2nd, 2021, at the location of westbound M14 in Superior Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean,
At
look
that
at
time, was
Attorney
your driver's
Brian like
license
is at the
suspended, denied,
pearly
and or
gates.
revoked?
Yeah.
He's about to ascend into
And
heaven.
did you know that it was?
Yes.
Counsel, have I complied with the court rule?
Yes, Your Honor, people are satisfied.
That's a satisfied, Your Honor.
She got a nice carpet though.
Court will accept
Oh,
the
she does.
defendant's
Very nice
plea
place.
of guilty in 684, case 444 is dismissed. Sir, anything you want to say before I impose sentence?
No comments.
No
Let me
autographs.
show your monthly payments to the other court.
I'm paying
Are
them
you
like
okay?
$80 a week. They got it set for $80 a month, but I'm just been giving them $80 a week.
Oh,
Look at you, baller.
You're trying to get it cleared out, right?
Yeah.
Trying to do the right thing? No.
good for
How
Anton.
much was the total that you had to pay them?
$925.
Catch me outside. How about that?
What are you down to now?
I just
$914.
talked to them yesterday.
Okay, so you just started out this payment.
Yeah. Yes, I just talked to them yesterday.
And
Sluts,
is it,
man.
it's correct, they won't give you a clearance until you
I asked
you
for
pay
a
the whole
clearance.
thing off.
I asked for a clearance and they said that I have to pay it down some first.
That's the difference. That's different what we talked about
Okay,
earlier.
down some. How much did they say? How much?
At least 50%.
Oh. $8 a week.
Okay.
He's taking notes on these cases.
Toilet. Why?
So
You could have it paid half down in five weeks.
Somebody said she's having a baby.
Mikey math.
Close to it. He had $400 down.
All right. Sends to the court, $495. When can you pay
Good for
that,
him.
sir?
I can start payments with you guys too.
All right.
Just all my money's going to the court.
How much?
Johnny. What you
How much
making
would
off?
you be trying to pay us?
I could do the same thing. $80 a week.
Ooh. Good for Anton. Got some money.
So you would be having 160 coming out of your check each week?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Huh?
Dude's got a job. He's at work. I mean, this is strange for court.
Mr. Ford Marshall, he doesn't want you to overextend
Well,
yourself.
Yes, counsel, I got this.
Okay.
Shut up,
The
Craigo.
I was trying to get it settled.
she got some sunflower seeds going or
Here's what
something.
we're gonna do.
Hello, Ghost. Yeah, Rick, I'm sorry.
I always feel like Ghost lives in like a palace. Haunting the halls.
Oh, perfect shot, Mr. Ford Marshall.
I like this guy. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I hope that Judge Simpson's kind of trying to help out here a little bit. Like I said, dude's he's working. He's got a job. He's paying $80 a week rather than a month.
And he's willing to do that. Well, that'd be $160 a week just in court costs he's paying, fines, restitutions, whatever you want to call it. But
Wouldn't it be funny?
You get paid every week, is that right?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be funny if Rosetta was just like a continuance, like a really quick, okay, we'll set you for April 28th, and we'll see you
What are
then.
you paying?
Plymouth 35th District.
and he keeps just getting in trouble for driving without his license. But he's, to get his license back, he's got to get this stuff paid off.
So when were you gonna pay the next?
You think he's going to try to help him out a little bit?
Every Monday, I was gonna just be paying them.
Help him out, Cedric. Spot him like $1,500 right now.
Oh no, I know. It's just it's you don't
Here's
see
what I'm
this
gonna do for you.
every
I'm not gonna
day.
do this for everybody, but it seems to me you're working hard. You're trying to get this paid.
Nice.
So I'm ordering the 495. I'll suspend 93 days in jail. You need to provide to the court proof of payment to the 35th District Court of 160 per week for the next 4 weeks. You got that?
160 for them?
Yeah, 160. Just listen to me. You understand what you need to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do is if you do that for the next 4 weeks, then I'm going to take off 320 of these 495. So then you'll owe us $175.
Okay.
So here's what I'm doing for you is that $80 that you would pay us, I just pay it to them. Get your clearance because you're just going to be back.
Okay.
That makes sense to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Say
All
thank
right.
you.
And then
Say
then
thank
you'll
you.
owe us 175.
He'll wait.
And then what I'll do is with that, I'm gonna tell you, looks like you do hard work. So
Yeah, I work on mail trucks and police cars.
Court reporter, Ford Tauruses.
and then I'm gonna make that 175. I'm gonna make that due by August 31st, 2022. So you don't have to worry about it through the summer.
Okay.
What a great guy.
Fair enough.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
No.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your consideration. Thank you.
Ulysses.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Marshall. You take care. Get back in there and get to work.
All right, thank you.
See,
those vehicles that need things done to them.
It pays to be polite.
Yes, they ride hard.
I know. And
Pays
you
to
just
have a
been hanging
job.
outside talking to a judge. Go back to work.
So what you're saying is doing right, even if you get in trouble, it can pay off.
Court calls the case. People versus Kyle Ford.
Glad he did that for him.
I love it.
Afternoon, Your Honor. James Gallagher, Assistant Public Defender, on behalf of Kyle Ford. Mr. Ford, good afternoon. If you could please state your name for the court.
And take off that
Kyle
effing hat.
Ford. And Your Honor, in light of Mr. Ford obtaining a valid temporary
Oh,
operator's
Kyle.
permit, I believe we have a dismissal here.
That's
He
correct,
has
Your Honor.
cases dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Really?
If you'd like to. It's up to you.
I know. Everything here is up to me. But Mr. Ford has a valid permit.
I did lay eyes on one of those. I did.
Did he?
Yes.
Do you know how to drive?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Like riding a bike.
Okay, well.
Well, not really, but okay.
Okay.
Can you parallel park?
Yes, sir.
That comes from this morning. Don't worry about it. Never mind. Don't answer that question.
Got a call back.
Response that says they can. All right. This case is dismissed. Good luck to you, Mr. Ford.
Really?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. McDuffie.
Take care.
Court calls the case. People versus Robert Harris.
Good for you, Kyle.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
2 positives in a
Assistant
row.
Public Defender Brian J. Grego on behalf of Mr. Robert Harris. Mr. Harris, will you state your full name for the record, please?
iPhone
Robert
dash
E.
one
Earl Harris.
name.
Your Honor, today's
It morphed to his real name.
I did have the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Harris in anticipation of today's hearing. We have come to a resolution in this matter. Ms. McDuffie and I have worked out a resolution. My client is in agreement that the original charge would be dismissed, that being leaving the scene of a personal injury accident. My client will be pleading guilty to the misdemeanor offense of failure to report an accident. Is that your
Whoops.
understanding, Mr. Harris, of how you wish to proceed in this case?
Yeah, boy.
Yes.
Thank you.
$1,000.
The no point. Yep.
Ulysses, if you're still here, what did you allegedly
Sir,
do?
please raise your right hand.
Allegedly.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God.
Yes.
State your name again for the record, sir.
Robert Earl Harris.
All right. You can put your hand down. Sir, it is this court's understanding that you are going to plead guilty to the charge of failure to report an accident. That is misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and or a $500 fine plus court.
Did you grow that stash just for court?
Yes.
Did-
Understanding that, you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, sir.
In light of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent, not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that, sir?
Yes, I do.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
I do.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily?
I am.
Careful.
Your own free will?
Be careful.
Yes.
Because you believe that you are indeed guilty of this offense?
Yes.
So he left the scene of an accident?
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe you think it was bad enough.
January 19, 2022, at the location of 8 Mile Road, Salem Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, were you operating a motor vehicle?
He was on
Yes.
8 Mile.
All right.
Were you
involved
drunk?
in an accident?
A little bump, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What happened?
I came to a stop and then my foot must have relaxed on the brake because I rolled forward and bumped another car in front of me at the engine idling speed.
Okay, so you hit another car.
Right.
Okay. Did you report that accident to the nearest and most convenient police station?
Neither one of us reported the accident that I know.
I didn't ask about the other person. I'm asking about you.
No, I did.
Did you
No, I
report
did
that?
not. No, I did not.
Did you stop and identify yourself or give identifying information, including your name?
Rosetta's on the move.
To the other driver?
He was drunk as a skunk.
All right. Here's going to be the problem, counsel. Is the aggregate, because I think that's the section you're going under, was the aggregate amount of damage, including any repair charges, in excess of $1,000?
The biggest thunderstorm
understand,
I've
Your Honor.
ever
When you
heard
describe
is
it
on
as
its way.
a-
I'm going to run outside real quick.
I
I'll be
know
right
what he's
back.
Be careful.
I'm asking him.
If
The
I
problem
go
is,
away,
this section would charge
you'll
him
know
an
why.
extra $1,000. Or the section he's pleading to.
There was no insurance claims whatsoever.
Okay, I'm not asking if there's any claims. Yeah, well, here's what I'm asking, sir. If you had to have the damage that was repaired on your vehicle and the other vehicle, including any charges for labor, would that total amount be in excess of $1,000?
Oh, no way.
Okay,
I
then
just got
hold it, stop.
Shut up.
I can't accept this plea.
Oh,
Mr. Harris, in terms of if you took the value of the two bumpers in terms of scuff marks, repainting, and service on those two bumpers. Okay.
If he's saying no way,
Yeah,
counsel,
understood, Your Honor.
I can't accept his plea, and I'm not going to, because if he says he's not guilty, and
Very good.
I'm not going to accept his plea. So what do we want to do with this?
At this time, Your Honor, I'd ask for an adjournment so that we can continue to explore a resolution in this matter. Is that what you'd like to do, Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
I
you
want
done
to get it
you
over
done
with.
effed up, bud.
And Mr.
Understood.
Harris, you understand, sir, why I can't accept your plea.
I really don't.
All right.
I have
One of
not.
with every crime, there are parts of a crime that are called elements to it. And one of the reasons I go through the questioning that I go through is I have to be satisfied that all of the elements of what you're pleading to exist and are there. Okay?
So if it was over 1,000, you could take the plea?
If it was over 1,000, I could take the plea, but I don't want you lying about that or not telling me the truth about that, okay? Or making something up. But that's what it came down to.
Yeah, he don't know.
So
Well,
of the
I mean,
elements, one of the
paint
elements.
scratches, if you repainted the two bumpers, it probably would.
Okay, look. You're gonna have to. I'm gonna let you talk to Miss McDuffie. You wanted to say something?
Well, it may help, Judge. For this one, I believe that Section 1A of this this statute also includes injury or property damage greater than 1,000, and this was an injury accident. So that may be satisfied by that fact. We were not able to determine the amount of
Someone
restitution,
got hurt?
but it is documented that there were injuries, if that helps.
No, there wasn't. No, there was no injury.
Okay. Well, all right.
It's
I don't think
falling
that's
apart
what you
faster and
All
faster.
right.
Yeah.
But anyway, and yeah,
You're killing yourself.
There's attention, I guess.
Robert, slow down.
But Mr. Harris, you understand what I'm saying, do you?
I understand what you're saying. I don't know why it is that way, but yeah.
Because that's the way our law is. It's one of those fundamental things that make our country great. That the government can't just come along, make you plead to something, not have all of the elements to it, or you agree to plea and not all the elements, and they're not there. Part of my job is to make sure that you as a citizen don't do that.
Did no one talk to you
if nothing
before
else, you
this?
understand I'm just doing my job, and I can't accept your plea, and I wouldn't accept your plea. Okay, because you're not, as you describe it to me, you're not guilty of this offense.
Yes, that's something's not panning out
So,
there.
what I'm going to do, sir.
What an idiot.
won't accept your plea. I'll adjourn this out a couple weeks, let council explore something that may fit the circumstances if it exists, and see if we can still get it resolved.
It
All right, sir?
happens. Keeps happening.
So I'll adjourn it to April 19th, 2022, 9 a.m.
Public defender's an idiot.
All right, sir. Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Thank you.
He couldn't shut up long enough to let it go.
Okay, so People versus Shirley Hawthorne.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. James Gallagher, Assistant Public Defender, on behalf of Shirley Hawthorne. Hawthorne, if you could please state your name for the court.
Shirley Hawthorne. Did it not? Oh, okay. Hi.
Hi. You were good. I heard you.
I could barely see her.
Okay.
Your Honor, in light of Ms. Hawthorne obtaining valid insurance, I believe we have a dismissal in this matter as well.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got
You got insurance?
Yeah.
Someone
So you're
could
out there
have
driving
injured,
with insurance?
or at least
Yeah,
say
I have insurance now.
Can you parallel park?
No.
Oh, okay. See, told you. You get about a
I'm
25%
honest.
return.
Must have been a,
Robert's back with his magnifying glass looking at the phone.
must have been a hell of
This
a
case is dismissed.
hell of an injury from that last.
Thank you.
Yeah, he said he just rolled forward and bumped the
Thank you.
car.
And if nobody
How
saw
is that
morning
possible?
doc, they have no clue why I'm asking. But it's okay. But people want to answer my question. They don't have to. Court calls the case. People versus Rosetta Howard.
Oh, Rosetta!
It's time.
Public Defender Brian J. Craig on behalf of Ms.
Get
Rosetta
your guesses
Howard.
on what she do.
Name for the record, please.
Main event.
Rosetta Howard.
In regards to today's date and time set for pretrial, we've come to a resolution in this case. My client has been able to provide a valid license to both myself and Ms. McDuffie, and the people are moving to dismiss this offense on behalf of Ms. Correct, Ms. McDuffie?
I wanted to say it, but sure, whatever. People move to dismiss.
Thank you, Ms. McDuffie.
I appreciate
Ms.
that, Ms.
Howard,
McDuffie.
Yes.
you want me to dismiss your case?
Of course. Yes.
Okay. Can you parallel park?
Yes, I can.
There you go.
Go ahead.
And I was on live earlier, but I can park.
Okay.
She's taking notes.
Hey, this case is dismissed. All right. Ms. Howard, you have a great day.
Thank you.
Good luck, Ms. Howard.
Was it worth the wait?
Yeah,
Miss
she was on
Rosetta
a
Stone?
Versus Michael Mess.
time.
All
Michael's
right,
up.
let's move over here and see what we got going on.
I
Now that
have.
we've seen Rosetta.
Zero clue what's going on here.
On July 21st, then the court could set your case for trial within
We've had
90 days of
people
that
showing
date.
up from jail.
So
We've
do
had
you understand
people
what your right to speedy trial
all over
is?
the
And if
place.
so, are you willing to waive that right with July 11th as your new 90-day commencement date?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, next court date, July 11th, trial July 21st. And Ms. Jackson, we'll send you a copy of the waiver. In
Oh,
your
it
return to
can be
court.
when Judge Simpson's in a good mood. It's
Was there on this?
Oh, when he's not though. The wrath.
Okay, and then
Oh, yeah,
the omnibus compliance date for.
Hey,
both
listen, if
parties
I'm
is
going to get
2
something
weeks prior to
dismissed like that,
trial,
I'll
which
wait
would
from
be
9
July
a.m.
7th.
It's all right.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jackson. You can go ahead and disconnect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Miss
You're
Jackson.
welcome. All right, so Mr. Anderson, did
got
you
nice
discuss with Mr. Argo, given that Mr. Mackler is not available on that trial date, acceptable available trial dates?
Yes, Your Honor, and you indicated you had a court date. Do you have anything late next month?
Well, the problem is
You got anything?
we only do
not near my
trials
birthday?
every 5 and 6 weeks. So my next round is April 28th, 29th, May 5th, May 6th.
While she's sorting
And then
that
it
out,
goes-
let's go
By
over
the way,
here.
that was your beard twin I saw right there. Very good.
That motion is granted.
I need to get rid of this homeless beard I got.
I will mark served on defendant and Ms. Hanson, if you.
You're late, Christy.
Where are we?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is a new
Jersey?
new one, Lakewood, Washington Municipal Court.
I understand that.
To see if they had anything going on, but
Well, we gotta wait.
Does Anna have a filter on, or she just got nice smooth skin with her pierced eyebrow and whatever that thing is?
That's a, that one piercing.
Wonder if she has an Adam the Woo tongue piercing.
I'm signing that order.
I think there might be a chance.
Financial obligations are raised in this matter. Thank you, Ms. Stevens.
How many piercings do you think she's got?
Thank you so much.
We'll
More
never
than
find
those
out.
two. I'm guessing there's 2 others, but I could be wrong.
I'm saying she's got
is
6
ready
more.
Your Honor, I do have a matter ready, and it was actually a quick set, so it's not on the calendar, but it is set for today. It's Brandon Mashburn, who's currently present.
Do you know any of these
over
people, Jim?
Zoom.
Brandon,
Mr.
come on
Walker,
down.
Mr. Mashburn, if you could, oh, perfect, great. There he is, and this is 1A.
Oh, he has beautiful hair.
810.
Just a time, Kevin.
And Your Honor, the parties are ready to proceed by way
And
of.
he's ready to rock.
I did go over this plea in its entirety with Mr. Mashburn. He does understand the important
Is he in
right
a locker room?
up by pleading guilty. I did go through the agreed recommendation. He does understand that Your Honor does not have to follow the agreed recommendation and can impose anything up to the maximum.
Seems like a nice place.
Additionally, I am asking the court not to
Beautiful
impose any cost, fees, and assessments here.
Not yet. No
And I'll
niner.
make that Blizina argument in a moment, Your Honor. I did go through any immigration consequences should they apply. I do believe he is entering into this plea knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently.
She watches YouTube videos.
So I
She
am asking the court
knows what to
to follow the agreed upon recommendation today and sign that plea. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mashburn, can you hear me all right?
Not really.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Can you hear me okay?
That'd be a no.
Yeah.
I think you're talking through your camera.
Your attorney before you made this decision?
Why are you doing court from the bathroom, Judge?
Okay, I'm sorry, one more time.
Did you have enough time to discuss this charge and all of the attending circumstances with your attorney before making this decision to plead?
Is she talking over a school intercom?
Okay.
Of your attorney.
No.
Do you understand that I don't have to follow anyone's recommendation as to sentence? I can impose any sentence up to the maximum. In this
Yes.
case, okay, in this case, the maximum is 90 days in jail and $1,000 fine. You
It's like she has one of those stupid PV things that we used to have at the radio station, just the one speaker.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It sounds
yes.
god awful.
You also understand that if you are not a citizen of the United States, a plea of guilty might make you vulnerable to.
We got a few
deportation.
first appearances, by the way, over here in Georgia. No Niner, but
All right, well,
Niner land.
we'll jump to that after Brandon.
You also understand that when you make a plea of guilty, you do not go to trial.
Yes.
You know what a trial is?
Yes.
Yes, Nancy. Yes, like in a school guyum or gym.
The guyum.
Yes.
Dependent on plea of guilty.
Is he got it up against his ear?
On or about April
I think so.
2021, in the town of Silicon.
It's so
I
bad.
operated a motor vehicle while my license was suspended in the 3rd degree by the Department of Licensing. Is that a true statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Huh?
To the crime of driving while license suspended in the 3rd degree.
Driving with
is not
suspended
guilty,
license.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I think that's the best analogy in a gym,
Mr. Mashburn,
like in an empty gym.
entering into it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently. Now, there are actual factual bases.
Please do not clap for the graduates until all names have been read.
Yeah, because otherwise nobody's gonna hear you.
This is an agreed recommendation after some negotiation by defense and myself. I'm sure defense counsel will be able to give more information, but Mr. Mashburn has had quite the journey with being relicensed.
Quite
and
the
then
journey.
I've been suspended again. And then once again relicensed. This is in contemplation of the efforts that he has put into this matter. as well as his criminal history, and the city would ask.
Why is a 15-year-old girl defending him?
Because she's an e-girl.
Ms. Taylor.
Yes, Your Honor, I would agree with everything the city said. Mr. Mashburn has had quite a long journey to try to get himself relicensed. He had a lot of money to pay off, a lot of fines to pay off, FTA requirements, I believe another state requirement in order to become relicensed. So he's come a long way in order to become relicensed. So he is relicensed today. So I am asking the court to follow the agreed upon recommendation. He did put a lot of work into getting his license back. Additionally, I am asking the court to not only waive the PD, the public defense fee here, but also to not impose any additional financial legal obligations here. Mr. Mashburn did let me know that he currently is supporting both himself and his wife. He does make approximately $1,200 a month. He does believe he has state health insurance. He pays his own rent and bills and everything like that. And his wife is not currently employed. So I am asking the court to take that into consideration and not impose any additional financial.
What does it matter if he pays for his own health insurance?
Additionally, last thing, Your
Nancy's
Honor,
right. Look at the fire alarm behind her.
I do believe that when he failed to appear once.
Not only is it where you pull it, but there's also the signal above it, the light.
So I did ask the order and that he has agreed with for Your Honor to review to remove that infraction from the committed status and dismiss pursuant to the agreement between the city and defense as well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Isa
Mazar.
Your Honor, that was also.
Everybody, click that link.
Please don't.
To this plea.
No, click it.
There's no objection. And I have signed that document as well.
It's
adult chat 18 plus, baby.
It's the sex.
Yes, I do, ma'am.
A lot of
Is there anything
sex.
that, you would like to tell me before I make?
I like them when they get
Um,
naked, as they say.
I mean, I'm just really happy that I've came this far and I got my license now.
I feel honored when they come through like
I'm gonna
that.
do what I gotta do to keep on pushing and make sure that I can take care of my wife. She's currently trying to get a job right now, so we're looking at getting our own place here soon.
Where you living now, Brandon?
The amended charge of driving while license suspended in the third, I will impose 90 days in jail, suspend all 90 days, and impose $1,000 fine, suspending all of the fine in consideration of attorney's counsel Blazina argument. So you can have no criminal law violations. I will ask that you do not drive without a valid license and proof of insurance.
Yes, Your Honor.
Naked without clothing, street grain.
I don't see the need to set any.
Those are the better
further
ones.
Review here.
I would agree
Agreed.
with that, Your Honor.
That's right. The white zone is for loading and unloading only.
And
The red zone.
also dismissing any attendant infractions.
No, the red zone is for.
Are they just going to let everything go on this guy?
They might. He makes $1,200 a month or a week or something.
We're going to make a calendar of hot judges. I see like J Fabe over
I
here.
don't see it on the calendar, so I'm not really.
Hot
What was
judge
the-
calendar.
The infraction on that insurance.
Just a moment,
Ladies
Your
of
Honor.
the bench.
Ladies of the bench. I love it. Yes. And on the front, Judge Middleton with his hair down.
That is infraction 1A01278111.
Listen, I love it.
See what that is for. I can look it
One
up.
day, me and Ulysses are going to sail around the Caribbean on his ship. He's going to buy.
Go! You go to the Caribbean. Ulysses and I talked about the Mediterranean. The Med's much nicer. Jesus. Get a little class, would you?
I can be low. I can't be high class on white trash. Come on.
And Your Honor, yes, that is correct. It's for the
Your
operating,
Honor.
motor vehicle without.
Your Honor.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
Geronimo.
Oh, there's an infraction disposition. form.
Oh, of course, it's going to take an hour with Brandon. I just want to jump to the next.
Just jump. We done found out Brandon's
Just
not
do
even
it.
gonna get
F
in no
you,
trouble.
Brandon.
But look at this receptacle this lady's drinking out of here. Thing's massive.
Crazy. Taller than her.
Thing's huge.
Miss Tucker.
Okay, the next case I have is Mr. Alexander Hill. Good afternoon, Mr. Hill. You're here for case BW22001934 for 1 count of identity fraud using the identifying information of another, 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and 1 count of possession of less than an ounce of marijuana, and 1 count of giving false name, address, or date of birth to law enforcement officer. I'm going to hear from your attorney now about what they want me to consider before setting bond in your case. Counsel, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Hale is 27 years old. He has been in Georgia for the last 11 years. He moved here when he was a teenager with his family, and his family is still here. He actually lives at a home with them in Snellville. That's his parents and his sister, and he did provide us with good contact information for them. In addition to the family that he moved here with, he does have 1 child. She is just 7 months old. She's here in Atlanta, and he is a very active father in her life. He sees her daily and has a lot of contact with his daughter. Your Honor, he did graduate from Parkview High School back in 2012. And at this time, he is attending Georgia State University for managerial science and accounting. He has about 20 credits left until he'll graduate with his degree. I asked him what he did in between high school and then going back to university, and he told me that he had been working as a valet
You
for
told me to
several
mind my
years.
business.
So while he doesn't have a job right now, he is attending classes at GSU and is looking forward to getting his bachelor's degree and making a better life for himself, and certainly increasing his earning potential with that accounting degree. So Your Honor, from my reading of the warrants, it appears that Mr. Hale was very cooperative with police. He certainly does have some issues with these allegations that we will go through later on in the process. Of course, we've got more investigation that needs to be done. But Your Honor, I do also want to mention that I think he has a hold from Gwinnett County at this time. So of course, if he posts bond here, he'll just go over to Gwinnett County to deal
They
with the
always do it. That's the best part about these first appearances is when they talk great about it until you hear about all this really bad stuff.
Right. This
her.
this is her, setting the table like, oh, he's a great guy. He sees his daughter every day. What a dude.
By the way, like Street Grain was saying, my buddy, he's work in the jail system. And he said, not only the lights so bad, but it's that constant, from the lights up top. He said, it'll give you a headache in like 10 minutes.
So yeah, that's basically what they're doing. And then they're going to come in and destroy with all the stuff he's done in his past. Here it comes.
Right.
hold there. Our request today for Mr. Hale is a $5,000 bond through a bonding company. That'll come out to be around $750, which is a lot of money to pay when you're going just directly to Gwinnett County. So again, Your Honor, our request today is a $5,000 bond for Mr. Hale.
Okay, thank you. I'll hear from the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Beginning with the defendant's criminal history, he
Oh,
does
Shear.
have one
No, it's
pending
fake.
cycle out of
It's
Tennessee, a 2019 obtaining controlled substances by fraud or forgery, 2 counts, and resisting arrest.
We saw
He also
her
has
green
one pending
screen
charge out of North Carolina,
flip-flop.
a 2021 attempt to obtain a false ID. He also has 13 Georgia cycles, and I will just focus on the relevant charges. He has a charge from 2019 pending out of Pickens County for criminal attempt, 2 counts of forgery in the first, identity fraud, possession of a Schedule II, and driving while his license is suspended or revoked. He also has a 2020 false statements of writing and identification fraud, as well as an additional pending charge out of Dawson County for ID fraud, criminal attempt, possession of a Schedule V, possession of a Schedule IV, sale of dangerous drugs, obtaining dangerous drugs by fraud or forgery, and false name charge. And again, that is pending. The state would emphasize that the defendant is currently on probation for that 2020 conviction for ID fraud, and he was sentenced to 6 years probation. So the state believes that he should not be granted a bond under OCGA 1710-1. But we also believe that he is a risk to a reoffend. He does have 4 open cases out of 3 separate states involving very similar charges to the ones in this case. So we do believe that he poses a risk to reoffend should he be released. And while I do recognize that he does have an active hold out of Gwinnett, as Ms. Mills mentioned, should the defendant be granted bond at this time and then post bond again in Gwinnett, the state still believes that he would pose a risk to reoffend, as he does have 4 pending charges and is on probation for similar charges. So we do not believe that bond is appropriate at this time.
I will not grant bond as far as it relates to this particular case. And your attorney, Mr. Hale, can file a bond motion to be heard in front of another judge at another point in time, and you'll also you will also get a preliminary hearing in approximately 3 to 4 weeks from today's date, where bond can be considered, but no bond as of today. Thank you. The next case I'm going to call is going to be
if you need me as a character witness at any time, let me know.
00685, Mr. Gregory Keith.
She made that decision
Jones.
pretty quick.
Mr.
I don't
Jones,
blame
good
her. I mean,
afternoon. You are here before the court for
Yeah.
one count of theft by shoplifting felony.
Uh-oh.
Your attorney has
Felony.
indicated that they have already gone over the warrants with you and therefore waive a formal the particulars of the warrant into the record.
Judge.
So I will hear from your attorney now about what your attorney wants
Your
me to
earbud fell
consider
out.
before setting bond. Counsel, you can proceed.
Say, Michael, I'm telling you.
Your Honor, I believe that Mr. Jones is here today for 2 counts of shoplifting. I have reviewed both warrants with him, but I just want to make sure that both are addressed today, and I'm happy to provide warrant numbers or whatever the court may need to ensure that that happens.
Okay, and you can go ahead and provide your information concerning bond.
Sure, thank you, Judge.
So good.
I would like to point out that these are both theft by shoplifting charges. I do believe that the merchandise was recovered by both stores. That's just from my brief reading of the warrant, but I do believe that there has been no true loss here and that both stores have recovered the items. But Your Honor, to tell you about Mr. Jones, he's been in Georgia for his entire life. Right now he's living in Ellenwood. He's been there for 2 years with his mother. He does have 3 children. They're ages 8, 4, and 3 years old. They live in Atlanta with their mother, and he's an active father in their lives. He is very gainfully employed. He actually works for the county in the watershed department. He has been there for about the last 10 years, so that's a long employment history. And I believe that he actually was arrested for this while he was at work. So he's not a flight risk where everyone will know where he is at all times. He's got no ties to anywhere else. And he's certainly local to here in DeKalb County. Your Honor, when it comes to bond for Mr. Jones, he has a very limited means. Of course, I do recognize that he has these 2 cases, and I believe he has another pending case here in DeKalb at this time. And also, Your Honor, I do think he also has a hold from Gwinnett at this time. So our request today for Mr. Jones in the entirety would be a $1,000 bond. That would be $500 on each case, just so he can get over to Gwinnett to clear up that hold and then come back to DeKalb to handle his business here.
Last one was $5K. And she said, no bond.
Thank you, Judge. The defendant does have 8 cycles, a 2013 VGCSA possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He also has a 2013 probation violation. I believe his record shows a 2019 family violence battery was transferred to the DA's office or our office, but I don't show a disposition on that case and was unable to locate more information. But I do know that he has a pending 2021 theft by shoplifting in DeKalb as well. He is wanted out of Fulton, and he does have an active hold, as Ms. Mills mentioned, out of Gwinnett. The state's request, given the active hold, is a $4,000 bond, and for both cases, so $2,000 each, and a do not return to the involved stores.
Okay, give me one moment to review the warrant.
Please tell us what the stores are.
America.
Going in hot.
America. Yeah, it was so funny the day that her green screen flipped. So her green screen was on her robe.
Mm-hmm.
God, that was great. So cycle is basically when you get charged for something and go through the whole process. That's your whole counts as one cycle. So these people that got 8 or 13 or more,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. Did she say that weird? Was he working while stealing something, or that he was employed?
He's employed by the fine watershed, as she said. He works at the watershed. So yeah, he's done tons of shoplifting. This is, he's got pending cases. He's had cases already against him. He's a repeat offender, and apparently he stole from 2 places.
Listen, give him a couple years. He'll get there. This thunderstorm that is rolling in is insane. It's these really long, like minute-long thunders.
Yeah, we're supposed to have bad weather.
It is crazy.
And the first
Thankfully,
case,
we're
I'm
up
gonna set the
far
bond at
enough, and we're
$5,000.
not much of a risk for today. T, hallelujah.
Sweet tea.
That's going to be the case for warrant ending in 771.
If he's got a hold on him, how can they let him out?
And he's wanted in another county.
Yeah. There's a hold from another county. They're not, unless it has to be something big to hold him.
I think so. Yeah. I think that's where they're gonna ship you off if they get a hold of you in another county. You know what I mean? Marka.
Kenneth is looking good. I'm wearing my dress flag shirt.
That's right.
Judge, I just want to let you know I'm back whenever you're ready for me.
Oh, welcome back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
There's still going to
Welcome
be a
back.
little bit of time.
Unseen voice
Okay,
returns.
thank you.
Where's Niner?
Niner took the day off, I guess.
David Goldstein, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and he's gone. Mark.
Wrong quarter.
What's a chance we can get another judge in another courtroom to ask if you could parallel park today? Because that would really be great, wouldn't it?
Any chance Ulysses can find the video of them busting into his house?
Can we get that? I'd pay for that body cam.
Yes. Let us know how much it is. We'll pay for it. I want to see it.
Get off my
I'm gonna set the bond
lawn,
at
Nightbot.
$5,000 on the second case as well. I'll be a total bond of $10,000.
Woo!
Any special conditions, Your Honor?
I'm not going to do any special conditions, but the bond will be $5,000 on each.
Wow. So she just basically looked at everything and was
Yeah,
like,
she's like, yeah.
12 to 15%.
Public defenders are really batting 0 today on these requests for bonds.
yeah. Sarah Gilbert there, Larner. She needs to get
straight
a
up,
little something today.
Come on.
Next.
Eric,
Slow
we don't
roll.
we just if we just jump around to different live ones, man, we never know what
We have no idea what we're going to end up with. I tell you what, I'm thinking about getting on in the morning sometimes at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I see why
it's
not.
Packed.
Okay,
Oh,
the
I'm
next
sure.
case, we'll do Mr. Eric Lavore.
We're doing Eric, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
Eric, come
good
on in.
afternoon, sir.
Your turn.
You're
And we're
here
doing
on
Dominic now.
22-026863, one count of aggravated assault. and
Thank you,
assault.
Dominic. 5 boom.
Your attorney has indicated that they have already gone over the warrants with you prior to today's court date beginning. Therefore, they're going to waive a formal reading of the particulars of the warrant into the record. But I will go ahead and hear from your attorney about what they would like me to consider before I set bond. Counsel, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, are there
Mr.
four?
Lamore is
I wouldn't
29
mind
years
catching one of
old.
them today.
He is originally from Miami, Florida, though he's been in Georgia for the last 6 years.
I'm on
He had been living at the incident location with the alleged victim in this case, though our office did discuss a separate living location for him, and he indicated that he can reside with his mother. That is a Lithonia address, so it is possible for him to have no contact and to stay away from the alleged victim in this case. In addition to his mother, who is here in Georgia, he does have a 1-year-old daughter in the state as well. So that also ties him here to our community. For the last 6 months, Your Honor, he has been working at Instacart as a delivery driver. But right now, Your Honor, he's very excited because he has been working on
Promoted to
getting hired at
DoorDash.
AT&T for a technician job. He has interviewed with them, spoken with them in depth about the position, and is just waiting for the next steps at this time. So we are hopeful that he can get out of custody so he can go on to continue being gainfully employed and continuing to provide for his 1-year-old daughter. Your Honor, he is also very well educated. He graduated from high school down in Florida and then went on to get his associate's degree in business. And clearly, Your Honor, he's willing to put that degree to work, especially if he can get hired on at AT&T here soon. Your Honor, I would
You
also
hear
like
that?
to address the fact that I
That just
do
scared
see that he has another pending
You've
case in Gwinnett,
was
so
in
he
the
does not
news.
have any convictions whatsoever. It
Yeah, that
appears
was
to me that
loud.
the only time he's had any trouble with the law is that other pending case. So, Your Honor, we do not believe that he is a risk to reoffend or poses any risk to the witnesses in this case. So, Judge, today our request from Mr. Lalore is a $4,000 bond. Again, we are open to a stay away or a no contact because he's got another place to live. So that is
If you
our
want to
request
share
today,
that
Judge.
without anybody else knowing, feel
We'll
free
hear
to.
from the state.
Yeah, if you want to email it to
Your
us,
Honor,
so only we
the
can see
state
it,
is
that'd
going
be
to
great.
request a $15,000 bond and no contact. He does have one cycle that is open and pending out of Gwinnett, a 2021 family violence battery and obstructing a 911 call. I was able to confirm that based on the records that we have access to, it is the same victim in this case as that case as well. So
You see me
the city
jump
has
there?
obvious concerns for the safety of our victim, and we do believe that the defendant poses a risk to reoffend based on these
No.
2 cycles, the 2021 and the current ag assault. So the state is requesting bond amount of $15,000 and no contact with the victim.
Yeah, thank you. Give me one moment to review the warrant.
Am I losing my mind? I don't see any. Are they not parole board? Were you guys just messing with me, or I don't see them.
Let me look.
Am I losing my mind?
I feel like she's going to come in here and say, yeah, no bond. But this guy, it sounds like he's a repeat domestic violence case. I mean, what was that?
So I will do a no contact with the alleged victim in this matter. I will allow one trip with a police escort to remove any essential belongings from the home.
Well, we've had them on
And
plenty. in the
counsel, I was
afternoon,
correct in
too.
understanding there is no conviction, so there is that open case.
That's correct.
And it is the same
Yeah,
victim in that case.
I thought you were
Yes,
saying
Your
around now. Got it. I'm up to date.
He knows what's up. No contact, but you can go stay with your mom if you like. Ah, dang.
Can you recreate it?
Can we hire
like the first 48 or something? You know what I mean? Can we hire a production crew? Thank you. Well, we got a second. Please like this. If you're new here, we do this 5 days a week, starting at 1 o'clock East.
Mr.
Jump
Lalore,
around.
I'm going to set your bond on this particular charge.
Yes.
And the amount is $25,000. And again, you're going to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in this matter.
Whoa.
I'm not going to allow a trip. I typically will allow a trip with a police escort, but I'm not going to do that in this case. You should have had a trip the last time to probably get your belongings, so you'll have to have somebody else go get those belongings. I'm not allowing you back in the home. There'll just be a $25,000 bond, no contact whatsoever, no exception.
He's on.
I was gonna say, please subscribe, notifications on.
Wow.
We'll jump back to this. Just wanted to show you, Judge Kim is live. I just saw somebody walk by that beautiful wall.
Hello, wall.
Oh, hey, now.
What does respect mean to you, Creed?
It means a lot of pictures.
Miss
lot of
Plaza Rova says it means one button unbuttoned. What is this?
These,
what was that?
That was a soap plea, whatever that is.
So the next case I have is Nicholas Lofters, case 22-026945, 1 count of terroristic threats, death threat, 1 count of criminal trespass, damage less than $500. Mr. Lofters, your attorney has indicated that they have already had a chance to review the
luck with
warrant.
that one,
Even before
Larner.
court began today, therefore they waive a formal reading of the particulars of the warrant into the record. So what I'm going to do
You're
now is
baby
hear
before
from
I
your
die.
attorney about
Go
what
ahead.
they want me to consider before I set bond. Counsel, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr.
terroristic
Lofters
threats.
is
You
23
were
years
joking.
old. He has been in
Oh,
Georgia
joking.
for the last 15 years and resides at an address in Ellenwood with his parents. He attended Stone Mountain High School and went through the 11th grade there. At this point, he is looking for a job. Right now, he works in landscaping, which makes a little bit of money, but he's looking for something a little bit more permanent. In the past, as recently as 1 month ago, he had been working in the restaurant industry. He was working at a restaurant off of Northside Drive and had been there for 5 months. So he is employable and is seeking that long-term employment. But just with the state of things at this point, he ended up leaving the restaurant industry, Your Honor. I would like to point out that he does reside with his parents, Judge, and he will not be able to find another place to live at this point. I do think that is important to note for Mr. Lofters today. Additionally, his
Right
ability
against his
to pay
parents,
a
I'm
bond,
guessing?
he just doesn't have much disposable income at this point. So our request for Mr. Lofters today is a $1,000 bond.
Okay, thank you. I'll hear from the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant has 5 cycles, a 2019 disorderly conduct, a 2019 family violence battery, and a 2020 probation violation. Your Honor, I would like to draw your attention to the docket notes on the warrant, which emphasize that the defendant has previous terroristic threats against this same victim. So we do believe that the defendant poses a risk to reoffend and a danger to this particular victim. So while we understand that it may be difficult for him to locate another place to stay, the state is still going to request a stay away from our victim and bond in the amount of $4,000.
Okay, thank you. Give me 1 moment to review his warrant.
Stay away, please. Stay away. Effing lawyer, good to see ya. He decided to step away from his endeavors in food service and broaden his horizons into terroristic threats. Good for him. It was so close, but yet so far. Later, he's continually threatened the same person. So, yeah, he's doing well. At least he's consistent, if nothing else. Really? Yeah, the camera setup is completely different over there. Completely different.
Counsel, I know that you indicated he had the previous threats against the mother, but was that actually a conviction or was that just an allegation?
That was just an allegation that was included in the warrant, Your Honor.
And then his previous battery conviction, do you know if that was against the mother or against someone else?
Unfortunately, we were not able to make contact with the mother at this time, so we were unable to confirm.
She didn't answer the phone. Is she doing okay? Should we send somebody over there and check her out?
So I'm going to set bond in the amount of $5,000. I will do no contact with the victim in this matter. I will allow 1 trip with a police escort to get whatever belongings need to be retrieved from the home in the interim to find somewhere else temporary to stay. So it'll be a $5,000 bond. It's going to be $2,500 on each count, and 1 trip with a police escort to get any belongings to go elsewhere in the interim.
He was great today. Really was. All right, so here's the thing. We need you guys to subscribe to our
Oh, and
Queens
I
and Bishop Show page.
apologize. Also, no contact with the victim.
Thank you. We're 50 away from hitting our newest goal of 8,000 on our way to 10,000. 10K any day. Hashtag it, baby. If you're on Facebook, please share this. There's no court on Facebook. We need more court on Facebook. People deserve it over there too.
Didn't you say, Judge?
Thank you.
By the way, I'll go ahead and announce now. I will not be on We Gotta Chase today. Creed will be flying solo today. So please join him. And everybody that joins the chat, make sure you tell him where you're watching from. He loves that. Hopefully you are, our guy. Hopefully you are.
Sorry, I had to secure some porch things. You know what I mean?
Battening down the hatches, are you?
I'm telling you, man. That was, and then when I was standing out there, and it's not just a one-hit thunder. It's this long rolling. Just you could hear it for miles. That was scary. What are we doing here?
We just got done with the mom hitting guy. We're going to go to the next person.
On the bond order and the special conditions.
I think we only got like one
conditions
other
as
person
we
after this
speak.
person, and this one will have to be a wrap.
Might just ride it out. We'll see.
And then the last, or
This
the
judge
next-
has been
last case that I have.
Yeah.
And this is Aubrey Billines.
going way
Good
above and
afternoon.
beyond what's being asked.
They're still lining up, getting ready for Judge Kim.
Zero.
We'll jump over
One
there at some
count of
point.
Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Your attorney has indicated that they've already had a chance to review the warrants with you before court began. Therefore, they waive a formal reading of the particulars of the warrant into the record, and I'm going to now listen to what your attorney wants me to consider before I set a bond in your case. Counsel, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Billines is 35 years old. He was born here in Georgia and lived here for most of his life, but about 3 years ago, he moved to the state of Florida. Unfortunately, about 3 months ago, Mr. Billines lost his mother. And when she passed away, he came back to Georgia and has been here ever since, just working on moving belongings
Wow.
out of her house and then having a closer relationship with his father. So at this point, Your Honor, he does call Georgia his home. He has recently held a job where he was framing houses and worked, and then a second job where he was working in as a private security officer at an independent contracting type business. But like I said, for the last couple of months, his main priority has been helping get his family's affairs in order, take care of his mother's house, and just overall organizing everything that happens when someone has passed away. Your Honor, I do see that he has some criminal history in his past. So it looks like the last time he's had any trouble with the law was back in 2015. So it's been about 7 years since Mr. Billines has had any contact
Doing good.
with law enforcement and the criminal justice system. Your Honor, our request today is a $2,000 bond for Mr. Billines.
I'll be on the porch.
Again, I
Laura.
just see that he only has this one charge, and we believe $2,000 is a reasonable bond for him today.
Okay, thank you. I'll hear from the state.
The judge, the defendant has 13 cycles in 07 entering auto, 14 counts of entering auto, obstruction, and theft by receiving. In 08, he has 2 counts of theft by taking and another cycle involving theft by taking. In 2010, he has 2 counts of theft by receiving. In 2010, he also has marijuana less than an ounce and possession of a Schedule 1, and he has probation violations in both 2012 and 2015. Your Honor, I would like to mention that he also has several cycles involving possession of a firearm. While he was not convicted, I do think that they are worth noting. Cycles in 05, 09, and 2019. I also would like to note, Your Honor, that our office has been able to locate his Instagram page, and he has posted several photos of firearms on his Instagram page. So the state has very serious concerns about the defendant's risk to reoffend in this case. Notably, Your Honor, law enforcement responded to the incident location in this case in response to the defendant making threats to kill a family member while armed. So we have very serious concerns about the defendant's risk to reoffend, as well as the safety of his family members and the community in general. Based on this information, Your Honor, we are requesting no bond at this point in time. And if Your Honor should be inclined to grant bond, we are requesting it be in the amount of at least $10,000 and include a stay away from the family member, which I can provide in a chat.
Well, by the way, I dropped the link to We Got a Case in the
Give me
chat.
1 moment to look over.
Some of you
his
said you were having a hard time
history.
finding it. If you want to subscribe to that, it's
Please
there in the
do.
chat.
Over
We'd
the
appreciate it if you
warrant.
did. Thank you. And I have never posted any pictures of me with pew-pews on the Instagram ever.
That reminds me. I'll try to get it in while she's looking. Haley Deegan, NASCAR. Well, she's a race car driver. Posted a frightening video about a stalker. And the dude's crazy. He is being catfished by a Haley Deegan and thinks that they're together and in love for a very long time. That's what reminds me. Just before we went live, thanks to Reddit, they posted his Instagram, and it is crazy. You can find her on YouTube. It's a pretty interesting video. You can tell that they're shook as can be. She didn't even race this past weekend. Didn't even
Well,
dare
it
to
happened to a basketball player too, where he thought he was talking to somebody, and she thought she was talking to somebody, but there was somebody in the middle taking all the messages and manipulating them to get them to meet.
Like, they're saying that the catfisher was saying that like he broke her jaw and has been abusing her and stuff. And the dude believes it. So there's death threats towards him, and it's all over his Instagram. It's still on there. Lots of videos, lots of pew-pews.
Wow.
It is a very interesting story. And I actually felt for them in that video. It was. Did you see it? Yeah. Now go and find his Instagram and look at all the messages and all the videos that he's taken.
I will also order no contact. I don't have a victim name because it's just a possession of firearm by a convicted felon. So if the state wants to put a name in the chat that you would like me to put for the person he's have no contact with, you can.
Yes, Judge.
I really did.
On the dash.
What are we doing? Getting a translator for the last? We're lining up.
We're making collect phone calls on the county's dime.
Quick
900 numbers.
Quick scheduling note. Grandpa got something to do today, something important.
Very important.
So we're going to have a hard out
Yes.
At
Thank you very
3.
much. I appreciate it. Very.
Oh,
It's
you're
the
welcome.
grandson's birthday.
And I'll be back with you at 4:05
Okay.
for
So there will be no contact.
It is a true 2 for Tuesday. Yes.
Nice.
And is this the mother or the father?
This is a sister.
Sister. Okay. So Mr. Villines, you will not have any, or Mr. Vilines, you'll have no contact with your sister at all. So no contact means absolutely no contact whatsoever for any purpose whatsoever.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So that will take care of that. Once she's signed, that will take care of your case.
I hate that we missed Meg yesterday. I always look forward to seeing her case.
Always a pleasure.
Condition saved.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. See this last one. This should be interesting.
Okay. And is the interpreter on the line?
Yep.
Called it. Get good at this stuff.
Okay.
You are.
If the interpreter can hear me, can I swear you in? Oh, okay.
Who
I
is
thought I
Seth?
heard
Is
them.
he the
Okay.
I'd love for him to interpret.
And what's the language again that we're going to be translating?
Korean.
Korean. Thank you.
Ooh,
Oh.
we don't get that very often.
Oh, it's
How may I
nervous.
help you?
I love
yes.
Korean noodles.
Good afternoon. Do you swear or affirm that you'll translate truly, correctly, and accurately from Korean to English and from English to Korean?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you please let the defendant know that we are here today for his first appearance hearing?
Is she hooking up a boombox?
I'm sorry, for what hearing?
I
First
think he's
appearance
just
hearing.
a lawyer.
I cannot understand you.
First
I
appearance.
cannot hear you very well.
His first appearance.
First appearance?
Don't be rude about it, you guys.
Yes. What did you say? 네, 안녕하십니까. 오늘만입니다. 오늘 첫 번째 보고 재판을 하겠습니다.
네, 알겠습니다.
예.
Thank you. Thank you.
The purpose of
Did
this
you ask?
hearing is to let him know why he was arrested and to give him a bond.
Me too, Dominic. I just ready.
예, 왜 체포되었는지 오늘 이 재판에서 얘기를 하는 게 목적이고요. 그리고 모성에 대해서
They're actually talking about all those great.
If he is
YouTube
unable
videos,
to make the bond that I
Korean
set in
street
his
food.
case, then he will have another hearing in 3 weeks from today's date that was much more comprehensive.
She must have some storms rolling through as well.
She's got
She's
storms
like,
rolling through too, yeah.
They're coming from Bama. Yeah.
낼 수 없게 된다면 다른 재판을 또 해야 되는데 그 재판에서는 형벌이 더 높아질 수 있다는 거 알아주시기 바랍니다.
네, 알겠습니다.
So tell him I don't need any responses quite yet. I will get some responses from him in just a moment. But just to keep things going, I'm going to go through a whole list of things, and he can just respond once I'm completely finished.
Fries sounds good.
예, 물어볼 때만 대답을 하시고요. 예, 알겠습니다. 대답 안 하셔야 되세요.
The first appearance or the preliminary hearing that he would have in 3 weeks is a much more comprehensive hearing. He'll be able to present evidence and call witnesses and question witnesses, and the state has to prove that it's more likely than not that he did what the officer alleges that he did.
예, 다른 재판은요, 정식 재판이 될 겁니다. 증인도 세워야 되고요. 그리고 주정부 쪽에서 왜 기하가
I believe she just said, "Hey, Bo,"
넘어가야 합니다.
in Korean, though.
Once his case is reviewed by a prosecutor, they'll determine what official charges, if any, to bring against him. And then his next court date after that will be an arraignment in front of his trial judge.
네, 그리고 그 재판이 끝나면 또 다른 재판이 있어요. 그때는 다른 판사님,
Yeah, then there.
내릴 수 있는 판사님 앞에 서서 재판을 하게 됩니다.
I don't know.
He can either enter a guilty or not guilty plea at his arraignment. And if he decides he wants to go to trial at a later date and time, he has a right to either have a bench trial where a judge determines his guilt or innocence, or a jury trial where the jury must all agree on his guilt or innocence.
Oh, easily street grain.
How could
예, 결백하다.
the translator remember all that stuff?
잘못을 인정하거나 결백하다라고 얘기를 할 경우에 따라서 공판을 해야 할지 아니면 대법원을 세워 공판일지 그렇지 않은 공판일지 결정될 겁니다.
He has a right to testify at trial, or he can exercise his right to remain silent and not have that silence used against him.
Don't think we've heard yet, Jeanette.
Not yet.
그리고 목필권을 유지할 권리가 있으며 아무 말도 하지 않고 목필권을 유지할 수 있습니다.
He has a right to testify if he would like to, and he also has a right to call witnesses to testify at his trial. If they will not voluntarily come to court, he can force them to come with a subpoena.
진술을 할 권리도 있습니다. 말을 하고 싶으시면 또 증인을 요청할 수 있는 권리도 있는데요.
I feel like Seth is like 10
증인을
feet
요청할
tall.
때에는 법원에 알려주셔야 저희가 소환장을 보내서 증인이 올 수 있도록 재판에 참석할 수 있도록 부릅니다. 본인이 직접 연락해서 오라고 할 수는 없습니다.
The state has the burden of proof at trial, which means that he starts off presumed innocent, and the state has to
Let us
prove
know,
that he's
Nathan. We'll be
guilty
there.
beyond the reasonable doubt to get a conviction.
On my way.
I'm lost. I know.
본인이 유죄를 인정한 게
We don't know anything yet.
주정부에서는 본인의
They do waive
유죄를
their a lot of them waive their thing in the beginning.
공판을
Not
할 겁니다.
See, this is all stuff that the other people already heard, but he didn't.
He has a
because
right
he
to
was
appeal the
English. So
conviction
she's
of the
having to tell
trial
them
court if he is found
everything.
guilty at trial. He can do that within 30 days of his trial conviction date.
I miss Niner.
This is Niner's stomping grounds.
공판 결정이 난 30일 이내에
Yeah,
요청할
you're
수
right.
있습니다.
Everything that she sets up at the beginning,
다른
at the beginning of the day when that whole room is full with orange.
But that is just an explanation of the entire criminal process. What I'm about to do right now is hear from his attorney regarding special conditions on
Got
his
himself a good
bond.
attorney, I think. He's got a nice office.
형사재판 절차에 대해서 설명드렸고요. 이 위안에 변호사가 여기 있는 걸
Got that
알고
look, doesn't he?
있어요.
Yeah, he does.
고소부에 대해서 얘기하도록 하겠습니다.
I have told his attorney that my special condition will be that he is not to have any contact whatsoever with the person that he's alleged to have attacked in this case.
Ah,
Oh, an attack.
with a
I'm
machete?
sorry, Your Honor, you're breaking up. I couldn't understand anything.
It's a
He is
filet.
to have no contact whatsoever with the person that he's alleged to have attacked in this case.
Thank you. 이 케이스에 관여된 다른
I
사람
can't hear anything else. The bailiff will come over and be really rude and yelling
전혀
to
연락할 수
Sloan again.
없습니다.
He'll threaten you.
No contact means he cannot talk to the person, email
really
them,
mean.
text them, say hello. He cannot do anything at all as far as it
Sunflowers.
relates to being in contact with that person.
No contact이라는 말은
Even if
전화도
you
안
work at the nail
되고요.
salon with him.
문자도 안
No
되고
contact.
이메일을 보내도 안 되고 말을 걸어도 안 되고 그 사람 가까이 가도 안 되고 인사를 해도 안 되는 허용이 되지 않습니다. 인사도 허용이 되지 않다는 뜻입니다.
If he understands that what I'll need him to do is sign the black signature pad that the deputies will hand him,
Well, it's
he
gotta be
won't be
black.
able to see his signature, but I'll be able to see it.
Oh, that ought to be good.
예, 이해하셨다면 여기 검정대에 사인하는 부분에다가 사인하십시오. 그래야 제가 사인하는 걸 볼 수 있고요. 경관도 볼 수 있습니다.
My inclination is also to set his bond at $5,000, which he can make through a bonding company.
I'd like all the food too. Come on.
제가 정한 보석금은 5,000불입니다. 보석금 에이전시를 통해서 설정할 수 있습니다. 보석금 내는 거를.
And let me ask this with his attorney, is there anything further that we need to discuss with your client?
Judge, just because he doesn't really know what's been going on since he was arrested, I would just like to let Mr. Lee know that arrangements are being made with his company to hire a bondsman to post the bond for him in this case.
His company? What?
Madam Interpreter, were you able to hear that?
Am I supposed to
Yes.
say what he said?
Am I supposed to
if you don't mind.
translate?
Very well.
Oh.
Is she asking me to repeat?
He wanted to let him know that arrangements are being made with his company to get a bondsman to post his bond at this time.
She said that pretty nicely.
예, 그 변호사가 하는 말이요. 그 본인 회사랑
Wonder what kind of company he works for. Like, it's gotta be pretty big time, right?
설정했다고 합니다.
I would think so, yeah.
And
Is he like
anything
a
else,
Korean
counsel, we need to
businessman?
tell him?
수가 있으니까.
Okay, perfect. Well, that will then conclude your hearing, sir. Thank you and have a good day.
No, that was anticlimactic.
Copy of
as
that
they
bond order be
say.
transmitted.
He his lawyer seemed kind of high profile, didn't he?
Not just for the
Yeah.
rest of today, but at all hearings in the future. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have 50 people talking all at once.
I understand.
Oh,
Okay.
off to a good start over here with Judge Porter.
Now, with that being stated, Ms. Cantrell, how many other kids are in your home?
Works for the
None.
paper bill.
And let's see, are you Gracie's mom?
Yes.
What kind of supervision would you be able to provide her if I were to let her go today?
I've checked into alternative schools. She'll be back in school. She'll be with me 24/7. I mean, I'm going to do whatever it takes. You've got my word.
Well,
F-Pod in the house.
Who's out making money?
What about phone calls with the boyfriend?
The boyfriend is incarcerated, so that's not even going to be a problem.
Well, except the boyfriend gets phone calls too. And he's probably going to try and call Gracie.
Yeah, and this is a light load today so far.
I'm going to
Really?
change her phone number.
Oh.
Her and
That's
her
still a thing?
boyfriend are no longer. I mean, that's not going to happen.
Oh, really, Nancy? Shut up, Trent. Where is Trent at, anyways?
Has she ever had a history of running away?
Yes, and driving in court. Raymond is
Not to
on the
my
move.
knowledge.
Okay, the fact that you paused that long.
Not to her knowledge.
Well, okay, this is what I'm going to say. She snuck out, but she's came back.
Marsha.
But I don't consider that running away.
Well,
Okay, well,
Get back.
I mean, that's not going to happen anymore.
Time to fight.
She's going to be right with me 24/7.
Right here.
I have reached out to all kinds of people that are supporting me in this deal.
Top people. I can't say who, but top people in their class.
I mean, we just want her home. We want to give her the best support we can and get her back on the right track, because she kind of gotten involved with some stuff she shouldn't have.
No
what kind of
shit.
stuff was that?
Where were you at, Mom, at this point in
Her
time?
boyfriend.
Seems like a good guy. He's just, made a mistake. He's in jail.
Her boyfriend's really Raymond over there.
Hey, CC.
That's not going to happen. She's not going to be out of my sight. She's going to be at school or with me 24/7. And that's a promise.
Why wouldn't he's going to come at her? Why wasn't this happening already?
Do y'all have any unsecured firearms in the home?
No,
Just a
I'm not a
couple.
gun person.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with owning a gun. I just need to make sure that
Well-
they're all secured, locked up, and inaccessible to Miss Gracie.
I don't own a gun. And you know what? If you want to know the truth, I think she's scared to death of them too. She was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, according to the police report, she was wrong at the wrong place at the wrong time, 2 different occasions.
You get it, Porter.
She was running with the wrong people.
She running with the devil.
I'm going to keep her with me 24/7. I'm going to get her back in school. We're going to get her back
Gonna
on the
do
right
chain her
track,
down.
and we're going to move forward. I mean, that's the future I have for her.
Oh yeah, well,
Hmm.
I mean, you know,
Smilla.
All right, thank you, Ms. Cantrell.
Shut
up! You've been level 1 outstanding for a long, long time.
All right. Well, that's good.
And
Level
I
1 on.
know, based on past detention hearings, that Ms. Brazel has a lot of faith in you. And I'm trusting Ms. Brazel. I'm going to give you this chance to go home. It will be on the electronic monitor. Okay. No contact whatsoever with your boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever you want to call him. That means no social media, no phone calls, no getting a friend to call, text message, IM, anything like that. No contact means no contact of any form. All right, you got me, Gracie?
Yes, sir.
Talk.
You have to come back to court anytime Ms. Brazel
Mom's
needs
is
you
a
to come back.
little wow.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And if she wants you to come in and take a UA to make sure that you're not using marijuana, you have to come in and take the UA. No questions asked, no
What's with these
stalling, no
kids and the
nothing like that.
marijuana?
Got
Yes,
it?
sir. Yes, sir.
thank you, Judge Porter.
Yes,
And
Vivian.
okay, Ms. Cantrell,
Shut up.
What did we just
Yes.
talk about a couple of minutes
Oh,
ago?
I'm sorry.
Shut up,
Do I
Trent.
need to
I mean,
reconsider
Marcia.
my decision?
No, I'm just thankful that my kid is getting a chance.
Shut up.
Gracie, I will let you in on a little secret. Sometimes our probation officers will show up at school and give you a surprise drug test. Sometimes they'll call you in before school and give you a surprise drug test.
She don't do drugs. She's
Sometimes
just in the
they'll do
wrong
both
place
of
at the
those
wrong
things
time.
in the same day, just to make sure you're not using drugs while you're at school.
Yes, sir.
So the
Outside
only
of
way
school's
to
fine.
Be clean is to be clean. So it's up to you, because if you test positive for marijuana, what do you think is going to happen?
I will come back here.
Yes, ma'am. And instead of 45 days in detention, next time we're looking at 3 months.
That's 90 days, Jerry.
All right. That'll be the order of the court.
Depends on how many
Thank
days
you, Your
in
Honor.
a month. It could be more than that.
Oh.
Or less.
Somebody tell Raymond to stop effing driving, please.
Everybody loves Raymond, though.
Second.
That mom is something. She's a piece of work.
All right.
Uh-oh, what happened to Raymond? Oh, it's a live shot of him and a wheelman.
Is it pronounced Micabella?
The heist of the century.
Micabella. My name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention, you must see a judge within 2 business days. At this hearing, you have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And we have
Mom's there.
appointed Kathy Lothorpe to represent you.
And Dad.
However, she could not be here this afternoon. So I'm going to ask another attorney, Frank Adler, who regularly represents kids in our court, to step in for Ms. Lothorpe. Pardon me. The purpose of this hearing is not a trial, Mitchvella. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in
If
delinquent
Alonzo
conduct.
gets just right, she has
Making
Mickey
that
Mouse ears.
determination, the law allows me to consider hearsay evidence in the form of a police report forwarded to me by the Juvenile Probation Department. If I find that probable cause exists, I will thereafter proceed to a secondary determination of whether or not you should be ordered to remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian.
Oh, Jake, every day he's got a long
You were
list
referred in custody by the Fort Worth Police
of
Department
this.
for the offense of assault on a peace officer and resisting arrest.
Ooh.
According to the report, you were allegedly one of 3 female students who were involved at a local high school. The school resource officer attempted to intervene by removing you from the assault. However, you became aggressive with the school resource officer by kicking the officer
In the ribs with a
kicking
boot.
off of a chair in an attempt to get away.
Full circle.
You also began
Kick him off a
striking
chair.
the resource officer with a closed fist on his face, and so he took you to the ground. During that continued assault, you continued to resist arrest or detention by kicking the school resource officer's legs, chest, under
Fight
his
Club.
chin while y'all were on the ground. Eventually, a teacher had to sit on your legs in order to get you to stop kicking. The school resource officer was eventually able to handcuff you, detain you, and transport you to JPD.
My God.
So I'm going to find that probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct.
She come in fighting.
Ms. Alonzo, does she have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes, Your Honor. Mother and father are in their parent room.
Mom and Dad, do you think your daughter's using drugs?
No.
Would you like us to give her a drug test just to see?
Yes.
No.
You do you want us to give her a drug test just to check and see?
No.
Okay.
Wow. No.
If I were a parent, I'd want to know.
Right?
Oh, I know
Burn.
my child far too well for that, Your Honor. Mom's off to a bad start. I think my daughter would never use drugs.
Could I buy some pot from you?
She's having a bad day, Your Honor. She's a psychopath, Your Honor. Obviously, she does not need.
Now,
A
Ms.
drug test.
Alonzo, is it correct that the mother has previously told you that this young lady smokes?
When I asked her, she believes that she suspects that she uses. That's what she reported to me this morning.
Mom, why are you telling me something different than what you told Ms. Alonso?
Hey, that's
I'm not telling you anything different. You asked me if I want her to be tested. I said it's up to you. And you
I
said
also asked if you thought she used drugs.
Here comes the attitude.
No, I didn't hear that part. You asked me if I want.
Oh, okay. Let me repeat myself. Mom, do you think your daughter uses drugs?
Yes, in the past. I'm not sure about the present. So if you
And
want
that's why I was going to give you the opportunity to have that concrete information.
Then if you want to, you can. But
well, I was asking if you wanted it.
I don't want to.
Okay. Well,
too bad.
This isn't how it should work.
Chabella, it sounds a little like your behavior's out of control.
Like your mom's.
So I'm just gonna, well, I'm gonna go ahead and find probable cause. I'm also gonna keep you here for a little while. We'll see how your behavior goes in the back.
You can take your mom
and evaluate this in 10 business days.
Yes,
Thank you.
Mom's gonna store him out like it's his issue.
She'll start mumbling soon.
You gonna say something? They just about to the door is when they usually spell something out. No,
I didn't see her.
She flipped you the bird, Your Honor. I didn't see her.
Right. Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Joseph, my name is Judge Porter.
as they say, there's another happy customer.
You must see a judge within 2 business days. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Raymond Daniel, is here. Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel. How are you?
Good afternoon, Judge. Just fine. Thank you.
All right. Joseph, the purpose of this hearing is
Hold on,
not a
Ash, Your Honor.
trial. Instead, the purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not probable
Oh,
cause
it
exists to
happens.
believe that you may have engaged in
I don't like your attitude.
in that determination. The law allows me to consider hearsay evidence in the form of a police report forwarded to me by the Juvenile Probation Department. If I find that probable cause exists, I will thereafter proceed to a secondary determination of whether or not you should be ordered to remain.
What reasoning would you have not to want your child to be drug
guardian.
tested? If you suspect,
Just like Street Grain said, though, it may be a weird play to make sure that she does stick in there a little longer.
Arlington Police Department for the offense of assault on public servant. According to the report, you were allegedly involved in a fight on campus at a local high school. The school resource officer and members of the school behavioral support team were attempting to calm you down and walk you to the office. You continued to make threats against other students involved in the fight, and at some point, you attempted to walk away from the school resource officer and struck one of the behavioral support team members, who's also a teacher, in the head and shoulder area. When asked by the school resource officer, the teacher admitted to being in pain. You were then detained and transported to JPD. During that transportation, you continued to make threats to the school resource officer about getting retaliation against the other student involved in the fight. The school resource officer learned that you were tripped during the assault by another student. And you're currently pending another offense. It was pending
How'd that come from?
intake from last year in which your family agreed to pay restitution by a certain deadline, but the balance of that restitution was never paid. All right, I'm going to find probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct. And when you were brought in yesterday, you were positive for marijuana. So, Dad, how long has he been using drugs?
I don't know, sir.
She
but
doesn't, Your
I
Honor.
kind of suspected it because of the change of his attitude, but I just didn't know for sure. But today, I know for sure now.
I learned from the last lady that was up here not to say that.
I don't know, sir, but he was actually working for a minute, but I doubt if he still have any of that money left.
Okay, if he was working for a minute, why weren't you
Effing lawyer, I wish they'd ask
paying
him.
the $150 he still owed on the old
Driving for a while.
restitution amount?
Could I buy some pot from you? He wasn't getting paid that much.
You on drugs?
Like to buy him maybe some socks and other stuff that I couldn't buy. But
Dad.
But you gotta understand.
Dad. You really expect me to believe that?
I don't expect you to believe, but I'm telling you the truth.
Dad.
And that he has been doing. He buys his own shoes. He buys his own clothes. He does.
Well,
and that
okay,
helps
what
me.
kind of shoes is he buying?
What kind of shoes he got? The normal shoes that kids his age like, Jordans.
Okay, Dad, maybe instead of buying a $200 pair of Jordans, he needs to go to Walmart and get whatever is less than $20 on the shelf and use that other $180 or so that he's owed since February of last year.
Why you bullying me? Why you bullying me?
Your Honor, that would just get him in more trouble. $20 shoes.
I really didn't put that responsibility on him. I left it. That was my fault. I didn't put it up for him to pay it. I put it up for me to pay it, and I paid half of it. But
No, you didn't pay half of it.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I paid $100 on it.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Another $150 is still owed on it. That's not good.
Well, that's old. That's well, I tried, Your Honor. I'm doing it by myself, so I tried.
Well, apparently, it's a family effort because he's out earning money to buy his own clothes. And if it were a family effort, you as dad would have made sure that money got paid.
Well, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm doing the best I can, sir.
He doesn't judge, Your Honor. I mean, does that count for anything?
I'm not enabling.
Yes, sir, you are. You suspected he's been using drugs for a while. You allow your son to go about and buy Jordans.
He sells drugs too, Your Honor.
About his past obligations. But you make no effort to get him to fulfill those past obligations to which you agreed.
Well, I'm sorry.
That is classic enabling.
I can do with all three of my boys. And if I make a mistake on one end, I try to make up for the mistake. But I'm just, I'm sorry.
Bruh.
I try. And I try to teach him the best way.
Bruh.
Might not meet your standards, but I try to get him a job where he won't be out doing other bad stuff. He does that. He tried to buy those things.
Wait, you telling me he goes out and steals stuff? What's he
No.
steal?
I said he tries to work to buy his own stuff where he's not going out stealing stuff.
Shut up! He could be stealing, Your Honor.
Shoes when he still owes $150 on restitution. And the reason he's buying his own shoes is because you say you got other kids and you can't give them everything they want, right?
No, sir. I feel like I did good on just trying to go to work to earn his own money.
Hell no!
I feel like
can't handle the truth.
I'm learning as I go, just as they is. And I'm trying, young. I'm pretty sure he's trying. Joseph is one of my kids that I don't have problems with, like the rest of my boys.
Joseph, I don't feel you got suitable supervision from your father. If you had suitable supervision, your father would not be allowing you to buy very expensive shoes when the family still owes restitution to your old victim in the old burglary of a vehicle case. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So
You're right, Judge. He's an idiot.
We're going to stay here until the court is convinced that your father can provide suitable supervision. Mr. Daniel, I'm sure that you will have a talk with Dad between now and then, and
Debbie Downer named
inform him
Ann
of some steps
R.
that Dad could take.
Don't want to have any fun. I get it.
Prove to the court that he might
So
be able
sorry.
to provide suitable supervision, but until we're there, Joseph's going to stay here.
My apologies.
Yes, sir.
These biscuits.
I missed something that the father said when you just did that. Well, here, how about this, Ann? Bye, everybody.
Thank you for
Ann
today's...
said Ann doesn't want to have fun today, so we're out of here.
The fun police has come.
Yeah.
And, it's time to go.
Ann says, you guys suck. By the way, we were all laughing and having a good time there, and that's how when everybody gets together and we kind of get to chatting there. What they call fun. Put a smile on your face once in a while, Ann.
It's all right to have fun, Ann.
But we'll stop.
I promise.
And this one's for you, Ann. 112 of you. Sorry, Ann says it's time to go.
we got to go. Make sure you like this video unless you're in.
Unless
Make
you're
sure
in.
you subscribe unless you're in. And make sure to leave a comment unless you're in.
Sheep.
Unless you're in. Everybody say, thanks, Ann. You cut it short. No overtime today because Ann
Nothing.
can't have fun today.
Nothing.
Bye,
You
Ann.
get nothing.
That's right.
Tell 'em-
Ann says, F you. We out.
Don't call me on the phone, Ann. It's
Yeah,
too
Ann,
late.
stop bullying me, Ann.
Way too late. Your phone call is falling on deaf ears. Not not taking your call today. Until next time. If there's a next time.
If Ann allows it.
Please remember.
Ann. Yeah. She doesn't understand.
One person ruins
One person ruins it for all of us.
This is like the guy driving the 4-wheeler in Cincinnati. He's ruining it for all the other people in the